Young adults, how we doing? What's up, Walani? Cool. Hey, guys, we're going to get started with some worship. We're back to one service. This is awesome. Can we get God some praise real quick? This is awesome. We got a good group in here. Cool, let's go ahead and get started. Start off with declaring some stuff about our God. Come on. All things are possible when we believe. All chains are breakable when we receive. Yahweh, you keep your promises. If you said it, we'll believe it. If you see it, you said it, we believe it. If you said it, we believe it. 'Cause you're a man of your word. If you said it, we believe it. Oh, 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 oh. If you said it, we believe it. 'Cause you're a man of your word. All things are possible when we believe. All chains are breakable when we receive. Yahweh, you keep your promises. You said it, we'll believe it. We'll believe it. If you said it, we believe it. If you said it, we believe it. You're a man of your word. If you said it, we believe it. If you said it, we believe it. 'Cause you're a man of your word. We have this confidence. You'll finish what you started. God, you have never failed, and you won't stop with me. Faithful in every step, patient with every heartache. God, you have never failed, and you won't stop with me. Oh, 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 oh. See now, if you said it. If you said it, we believe it. Said it, we believe it. 'Cause you're a man of your word. You said it, we believe it. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. If you said it, we believe it. 'Cause you're a man of your word. We have this confidence. You finished what you started. God, you have never failed, and you won't stop with me. Present with every step, patient with every heartache. God, you have never failed, and you won't stop with me. Oh, stop with me. If you said it, we believe it. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. If you said it, we believe it. 'Cause you're a man on your word. You said it, we believe it. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. If you said it, we believe it. 'Cause you're a man on your word. If you said it, it. If you said it, if you said it, we'll believe it. If you said it, oh, if you said it, we'll believe it. If you said it, if you said it, we'll believe it. If you said it.
All right, that was awesome. Very nice. We are so glad that you guys are here. My name is Becca. If you do not know me, I'm one of the leaders here in Young Adults. Hello. So, one thing I want to ask before I hop into announcements, we have some nice seats up in the front. So if you're in one of these rows, can you guys just take a scoot forward? The front row isn't that scary, I promise. I promise. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Thank you guys for doing that. Now, if you guys could, just say hi to the person next to you. Don't have to do high fives or anything. Just like a nice socially distanced wave or like a air five. Anything like that. All right. So some really cool things that I want to let you guys know about. So we do have, obviously, Young Adults every Wednesday night, and it has been so good being able to be back. But something else that's really cool is we actually have main service that is also back, which has been so awesome. And so we encourage you guys on Sundays, we have service at 8 a.m., 9:30, and 11. So lots of chances to catch service over there at the main building. Super awesome time. You should definitely check it out. Whenever you guys are leaving at the very end, come to the little corner and check out our merch. We have stickers, we have t-shirts, we have bracelets. Super dope. We would love for you guys to be able to represent PVC Young Adults wherever you might go. And finally, next week is going to be the last week of this series. So be sure to get your friends here. It's going to be super awesome. We're going to have lots of fun, and then we're also going to let you guys know about what our next series is going to look like. It's going to be super dope. So thank you guys again so much for being here. Let's continue on with worship.
All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. Sing this out. And all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest night. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend. And I have lived in the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am made, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running
Sing it out. Come on.
All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Come on, sing that out. All my life. All my life. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God.
We're going to sing that bridge out one more time. Your goodness is running after. It's running after me. Come on. Your goodness is running after.
It's running after me. Your goodness is running after. It's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after. It's running after me.
Again. Your goodness is running after. It's running after me. Yes, it's always running. Your goodness is running after. It's running after me.
With my life laid down, I
Surrender now. I give you everything.
Your goodness is running after.
It's running after me. Father, our response tonight, Lord, our response is to rejoice because of this wonderful love that's running after us, Lord. This grace that went to the cross is now available to us, Lord. Our response is to run back to you. Lord, that this next song that we sing, let it be very dear to our hearts. And help each and every one of us to respond in an incredible way to you tonight, Lord.
I've carried a burden for too long on my own. I wasn't created to bear it alone. I hear your invitation to let it all go.
Don't understand, I can't comprehend. All I know is I need you. I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I've done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I'll run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, oh, oh.
You saw my condition, had a plan from the start. Your son for redemption, the price for me.
I don't understand, I can't comprehend. All I know is I need you. I run to the Father, I fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, the reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I'll run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, 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 again and again. Oh, 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 my heart has been in your sights long before my first breath, running into your arms is running to life from death. And I feel this rush deep in my chest. Your mercy is calling out. Just as I am, you pull me in. I know I need you now. Run to the Father, I'm falling to grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I'll run to the Father again and again. I'll run to the Father, I'll fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart's found a surgeon, my soul's found a friend. So I'll run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, 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 again and again. Oh, 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 oh. We got one more for you guys. I give you glory for all you brought me through. And now I'm ready for whatever you want to do. I'm moving forward and follow after you. And now I'm ready for whatever you want to do. Your presence is an open door. We want you, Lord, like never before. Your presence is an open door. So come now, Lord, like never before. Every season, your grace has been enough. And I'm believing the best is yet to come. The cross before me, my hope on things above. In you, Jesus, the best is yet to come. Your presence guys for worshiping with us. Go ahead and grab a seat.
The coronavirus is spreading so quickly around the globe, it may only be a matter of time before it begins rolling across the U.S.
It's a family business now destroyed.
The coronavirus crisis has taken another staggering turn for the worse.
People here say that police violence and racism is not just an American problem.
Countries, then the danger of that outbreak in this country increases substantially.
It's going to get tense, so they're moving towards the cops and the...
But practically, if you just love people as Christ has called us to love people, love actually leads us towards unity.
How is everyone doing tonight? You guys doing all right? Real quick, I want to thank everyone for making the switch. I know we've been up to like 2 services, and then another week you'd be like, oh, now we're going back to 1. So just thank you guys for making the switch, coming at 7:30. I'm hoping that can accommodate everyone. We all got a crazy schedule right now, but be thinking of those people throughout this week that you need to invite to church, because they are going to have an awesome time if you bring them. But can we give a round of applause to the worship team? That was awesome. Guys, I'm telling you, if you need new friends or want more friends, talk to any one of those on the worship team. They are awesome people. But you know the thing that I can't stand, this has nothing to do with the message, but you know the thing I can't stand about worship leaders is they are good at everything. These dudes, they can play instruments, they can sing, they can do cool stuff, and I'm here with a mic talking. Yeah, so I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for God to start blessing me the way he blessed the worship leaders, because, I mean, it's just not fair, but I'm working on that, so the time will come, but yeah, they're awesome, so talk to them after service. I love every single one of them. This has been an awesome series. We are 6 weeks in, and to say the least, it has not been the lightest of series, messages, of things that you hear throughout the week. A lot of these messages aren't messages that you come and you're like, oh my gosh, wow, I just feel so good about myself. I just want to love everyone. I haven't seen anything in my life that needs to change. I just love these messages. The thing about those messages that are so light, and you just talk about like flowers and rainbows and really cute stuff. The thing about those messages is you hear them, and then you leave, and you don't change anything about yourself, me included. But when we hear these messages, and you're like, oh man, that kind of makes me feel a little bit awkward. That kind of makes me feel a little bit uneasy. Then we start to change a little bit because we're challenged. Our perspectives can be challenged. Our hearts can be challenged. The things that we're doing, the way we go about our week can be challenged. And so this series has been one of those where it's not the easiest, but tonight's going to be fun because it has to be. It's going to be awesome. But real quick, like Becca was saying, we finally met up in main service on the weekends. So this weekend, this Sunday, 8 a.m., 9:30, 11, be there. Main service. It feels good to be around people. So make sure you're there this weekend. I was there for the first time. It's great to be back. So I was thinking, it's like, how do you transition from that? Anyways, the main topic for today, it's a message that's not easy to hear, like I said earlier, but everyone needs to apply. This isn't a message where you're like, speaker, like it doesn't apply to me, so I'll come back next week, but try again. No, this message is pretty good. It's called Loving Your Enemy. So, it's like, ouch. How do you love your enemy? Why would you do that? And when you're thinking about your enemy, you're like, oh, there's like so much hate in my heart. I just feel like my cold soul is just inside. It's so dark, and I have so much hate. If that's you, I feel you. I have hate in my heart that I'm working through. But I was like, I don't want to talk for 2 hours about, this is a 2-hour message, so get ready. I'm just kidding. Insane, they're like, I gotta go. Anyways, I was thinking, how do you start off this message talking about loving your enemy? Like, you don't just go into a whole message of saying, all right, think about that person you can't stand. But we can think about some of the things that we hate in this life, in our world today. I'm sure you guys all have something that you just can't stand. So why not talk about the things that I hate so we can transition into that? And the cool thing is, some of you guys might get offended, and that's the best part. Because if you guys get offended, man, then that's really when life change starts to happen. But I want to preface this before I get into it, because you're like, whoa, like, what are we talking about? Oh my gosh. Like, they're good stuff. I hate them. But here's the thing. If you get offended, check your heart, because it's probably a you issue, not a me issue. And again, if you have any issues with anything I say, like I start most messages, you can email me. I'll give you my direct email. It's benjurier@palmvalley.org. So if you have any issues, I promise you can. That's my personal email. Like I can 24/7, anything you got, 3 a.m., just message me. I'll respond back. Might look a little bit different, but anyways, so there's some things that I hate, and there's some things that you probably hate in this life too. So let's talk about some of the things that I hate, and you can see how you feel afterwards. So again, check your heart, not mine. I don't need that. Anyways, first thing, sports started back up again. Amen? Can I get an amen? NFL started this last week, and I was like, oh my gosh. And if any of you guys need to know the right team to root for, I'm a diehard Steeler fan, and we started off 1-0. Beat the Giants. Very good team, phenomenal team. Everyone knows they're phenomenal. So we beat the Giants. And that's good, because last season we were playing with like a 6-year-old peewee squad, you know? We couldn't score to save our lives. Like, we'd have 7 interceptions in the game. We'd have great defense and then do nothing on the offense. So it felt good to see the Steelers score. But there's some teams in the NFL that I just can't stand. Just to be honest with you, like, I wouldn't lend my hand out to them. I hate is a strong word. That's how I feel. So let's show some of the teams that I just really don't like. So we got the Cowboys. We got the Eagles. We got the Ravens. Wait, why is that the logo of the Patriots? Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's right. Cam Newton. Okay, yeah. So these teams, honestly, if you root for them, like, we can try and be friends. Might be tough, but, you know, I'll say this. I'll pray for you. I will pray for you. If you like any of these teams on Sunday, Titus, I'm praying for you, man. The future is bright if you're not a fan of any of these guys. So can't stand them. I don't like them. Hate them. Yeah, I said the H word. I just can't stand them because I get very heated into sports. And it's like someone messaged me the other day and they're like, dude, what are you yelling at? I'm like, we just made a big stop on 3rd down. Like, what do you want me to say? But I was alone in my room, so it sounded a little bit weird. Like, why are you yelling like that with no one there? Anyways, okay. So that crowd of people might have been offended. So first of all, check your heart. Secondly, there's some other things that I don't like that I actually hate. Another thing, can we show the second picture? It's green. That is kale. And you're like thinking, oh my gosh, like, why are we talking about kale in church? Like, who likes kale in here? Just let's be honest. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Again, I will be praying for you guys. Think about kale. Here's the thing. Yeah, check this out. Kale is so disgusting to me that it tastes like when I'm eating it, the only option for me is to throw up. Like, there's no other option. It's not like, oh, I'll just chew really quickly and then swallow. No, we're not doing that. One time I said, you know, I'm going to have some kale because it's good for you. It's green. It's really tasty. No, it's not. But I put it in. No one do this. This is like advice to you. Don't try this. I put it in a smoothie, and I said, let's throw some of that kale up in this NutriBullet, bro. I'm going to put it in this sucker. And I just, like, you know, made sure it was blended, took it to the church with me. We had a staff meeting, so I'm like, all right, I'll drink some kale, put some other berries in it because I'm healthy. And so, I put the kale in there, and I'm sitting with Pastor Darius at this team meeting. And so, like, they're talking, and I'm, like, trying to drink the kale. I'm, like gagging with every sip. Dude, I swear, I think Pastor Darius thought I was having like a convulsion at the table. He's like, do I need to get this spirit out of him? So kale's just not it for me. You want to put it on pizza? I'm not eating the pizza. So it's just, there's some things with kale that we have issues. I hate it. But I mean, we can do with lettuce and spinach and other things like that. But anyways, that's one of the things I don't like. Third, this probably won't offend anyone because you guys do love Jesus. Third is the next one, cats. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, just take a look. Yeah, it's not cute. That's not cute. No. So someone asked me one time, that I love these hypotheticals because they think they're going to corner me. And it's like, oh, I'm going to ask a question, totally going to change your mind. It's like, well, no, they're cats. So someone was like, Steven, what happens if you're driving and you see a cat crossroad and it's a little baby cat and he's so cute, it's 2 words, speed up. Boom. Just like, you won't even feel it. He won't even feel it either, because he probably ran away from his family that doesn't love him, so it's just drive right over it. Super quickly, put it out of its misery. I see a lot of people nodding. You guys are my people, so thank you. Again, if you were offended, lastly, check your heart. Anyways, cats are just not my thing. I'm a dog person. I would get out of my car on the freeway with moving traffic to save a dog. If I die but the dog lives, mission accomplished. First movie I ever cried in was Marley and Me. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Just like, oh yeah, it's just a cute dog movie. And then, freaking, you guys know what happens. You just leave like bawling, just absolute sobbing. It's insane. Like, only my sisters do that, so why would I do that? Anyways, last one. It's just a couple things, and it's funny. Yeah, I was gonna do a little build up to it, but he just threw it up there. Thanks, guys. Anyways, they said the quiet part out loud. Anyways, Dutch Bros. Yeah, I've kind of she works at Dutch Bros, so it's like we just lost a member at Palm Valley. Anyways, just kidding. Come back, please. I love you. So, the thing about Dutch Bros, I'll tell you. It's like, why do you hate it? Like, what's the issue? I'll tell you why. First of all, I'm a coffee snob, so I love real coffee, and they have good coffee. Their cold brew with the foam is good. Good coffee. Here's the issue that kind of just makes me feel a little bit weird inside. You'll be there, and you're like getting like, hey, can I get like a Rebel, like, you know, with all the flavors and stuff? And they're like, oh yeah. And then you're talking, and then 30 seconds later, they are inside your car, sitting on your dashboard. Like, and then what else? Like, on my lap. And I'm like, how did you get here? Like, why are you inside my car? Like, why are we this close? And then it's like, all right, you're inside my car. I guess I have to buy something now. Okay. So Dutch just ain't it. I'm a Starbucks kind of guy. I go there. I get the nitro cold brew. I apologize. Yeah, I'm just calling out Ben right now. He likes everything that I just said I hate. Anyways, so lastly, main point, check your heart if you're offended. It's a you problem. Anyways, glad we get that out of the way. Those are things that I would say I really hate. The reason why I started out with those is because this is a heavy message. It's not a message that you just want to sit there for a while and feel. And as I was thinking about things that I really don't like, I don't hate those things. I don't like them. I wouldn't choose to have any of those things, but deep down, I don't hate them. Because in order for me to hate something, to hate someone, to have an enemy, they have to have done something to me personally. They have to have done something that really hurt me. And that's the issue here, is not every person that we don't like is our enemy. Or I would hope. I would hope that the people that you guys just disagree with, those aren't your enemies. Enemy is a strong word. Enemy is something that we all have, someone in our lives that we could probably give them the label of enemy. We just can't stand them. But I really have to hit that nail on the head, because if we go out here and we start saying everyone's my enemy or I hate everything, the word loses its value. You know what I mean? I was in Spanish class one time and they were telling me, they were like, you white people, you guys use, and I was like, seriously? But okay, anyways, they were like, you use love for everything. Like, oh my gosh, I love pizza. Oh my gosh, like I love tacos. I love dogs. I love spinach, you know, just random things like that. But in Spanish, they have like different words for love that mean deeper things. Anyone in here who might speak Spanish knows what I'm talking about. And so the problem is, we go about in this world saying, man, I hate that. Or man, they're my enemy. But are they really? So when we have someone in our life that is actually our enemy, we got to think about how they got there. And the thing that we have to accept is most likely your enemy is someone that you have let in to your personal life. They've seen you at a vulnerable spot. They've seen some things that maybe you're not proud of. They've seen some things that not everyone knows about. And because they know you so deeply, because they know you for who you are, and you don't really have anything else to shield, you don't really have anything else to cover up, you're completely exposed. They've seen that, and they've hurt you. Because it's at that deepest core where you feel that. So when we're talking about enemies, that's why it's deep. Because it hurts. Because no one wants to feel that pain. But we will. We have. We're going to in the future. So what do we do with that? Because for me, I feel like sometimes the pain's not going away. Sometimes I feel like the pain is just getting worse. So what do we do? We have those enemies. Well, the sad truth is, the more pain there is, the harder it is to let go. See, if they didn't hurt you that bad, you can get over it. But when they hurt you so bad that you can barely talk about it, it takes a while. And so going through this message, I want to make something clear. This is not a message where it's like overnight, I can love my enemy, just like that. This is a lifelong journey. This is something that's going to take time, going to take work. Because if you could do it overnight, they're probably not your enemy. They probably haven't hurt you that much. Can we be honest? And so I was thinking about, what has the world taught us about this topic? What has the world taught us about the things with people that we have an issue with, that we don't like? And it's with two words, and you guys probably know exactly what they are, and it's getting really popular, and it's really frustrating me, because why is this the way we're supposed to live? The world has taught us that when we don't like someone, and they've hurt us, cancel culture. Just cancel them. Get rid of them. Take away their account. Silence them. Don't let them talk. Don't let me see them. You are canceled. You'll see someone on Instagram or Twitter and say something that they really didn't mean to say. Canceled. You see someone that made a mistake. Canceled. And how did we get to this point? And one of the reasons I hate cancel culture so much is because if we're going to live by those rules, shouldn't we all be canceled? Shouldn't we all be canceled? I've made mistakes that I regret. I've made mistakes that have hurt people, and I'm sure you guys have too. Especially if you like cats. Anyways, okay, that was just off, you know what I meant. Check your heart. Okay. But cancel culture is something that's not new. And this message isn't about cancel culture, but it's something we need to talk about if we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. See, cancel culture is something that is not new. It's been around for a while. Just because it's getting traction right now, because it's an election year, and there's tons of stuff going on, cancel culture is not new. It's been around for thousands of years. And it happens in the Bible. See, Jesus was talking to tons of people in this particular area. It's called the Sermon on the Mount. And he was talking to tons of people about very important things. He was saying things that, like what might happen today, kind of makes you feel like, uneasy inside. And so this specific one, he's talking about loving those who have hurt you, your enemy. But that's not what he starts with. See, in Matthew chapter 5, verse 43, let's read what it says. It says, you have heard. Can everyone say, you have heard? You have heard. You heard them say it. You heard them tweet it. You heard them say it in class, in school, in the movies. You heard it. So it must be true. You heard the law that says, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. Well, heck yeah. That feels good. Reading that, you're like, hate my enemy. That doesn't take much at all. To hate my enemy, that doesn't take much, because I already don't like them very much. And Jesus was making a point, because he was saying, you have heard, but they were misinterpreting what was said. And I'm going to get into this part right here that might frustrate you, because it frustrates me. But before Jesus could change the culture of these people, he had to correct it. He had to correct the culture, because they were misquoting Old Testament law. They were saying, well, it says hate your neighbor. Have you ever heard another Christian of yours, another friend that says they go to church completely misquote the Bible. And you're like, oh my gosh, good Lord, have you read it? Like, you just justified your actions by saying this? Here's a little story. I'm not going to go into detail. But I opened up Facebook. This is why I never go on Facebook. God. I opened up Facebook, and the first thing I see, it's not even like scroll down a little bit. First thing I see, it's someone talking about it, and they're like, my favorite part about the Bible was when Jesus didn't exclude anyone, so I can do anything. So anything I do is all right. So Jesus didn't exclude anyone, so why are you excluding me? And I was looking at some things that they were saying. I'm like, that was not even close. You missed have you read the New Testament? Like, true, yes, Jesus didn't exclude people, and he includes us even though we are messed up. But he doesn't see what we're doing and say, no, just continue. He says, no, go and sin no more. Jesus wants to change us. And see, he was seeing those people talking about cancel culture, hate your enemy, and he had to correct it. Because you can't change it if you're already believing something that's not true. And here's the main thing, the last thing I'll say about cancel culture. Cancel culture, it silences their voice, but it doesn't take away your pain. They can stop talking. You might not see them. You can block them. You can stop being friends with them. You can move away. You can cover the best friend tattoo on your arm. But it doesn't take away the pain. You still feel it. They're still there. Even though you can't see them, you feel it. And this was made very clear to me a while back. I had a friend. Me and him were friends for a long time. We had grown up together. We'd played baseball together. I didn't play baseball very long because I sucked. But anyways, we'd played baseball together in middle school and high school together. We were in all the same classes. We were good friends. And one day, I was actually here in this building. I looked on my phone, and I had found out that my friend had died in a car accident. And I saw that, and it hurt. And maybe some of you guys have been through a situation that includes death. It's something that I would wish on no one. And I saw what happened, and it was in a car crash, and I started looking at some of the details. And I had found that the person driving, no, it wasn't all their fault. But to say the least, the accident could have been prevented. It didn't have to happen. And I didn't realize that I hadn't dealt with this issue. I hadn't forgiven the people in that situation. I hadn't moved on, even though I thought I did. And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I just won't think about it. Until one day, I went to a restaurant, and I went to order some food. And the person at the register was the person driving the car. And my knees got shaky, and I felt all these emotions. I lost my appetite. And I looked at the person behind me, and I said, just go ahead. I can't. And I saw, and I realized I hadn't processed it. I hadn't forgiven that person. Even though I acted like it, even though I tried to make sense of it, so it doesn't hurt me anymore, it did. And walking in, I realized that I still needed a lot of work. I still needed some help. Because that situation showed me that I hadn't dealt with that pain. And here's the main point. In order for us to get through this pain, in order for us to get over the hurt that other people caused us, it's going to make us say one word. It's the F word, man. We're all going to say it together in church. You're like, I've never heard someone say that. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, never mind. It's forgiveness. Not the other one. Were you guys singing the other one? Okay, I'll pray for you. Anyways, forgiveness. That's not a word that I like talking about. That's not the message that's easy to hear. But if we are going to get through something that has hurt us so deeply, we are going to have to forgive. See, forgiveness is the only way through. Can we show verse 44 right here? Because then Jesus corrected them. And this is when he starts changing the culture. He says, but I say, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. Now, that's not what I want to do. I'd much rather hate my enemies. I'm just being real. I don't want to love my enemies. I want to forgive what they did. Because if I forgive what they did, does that make what they did right? Does that just say, okay, you're no longer in the wrong? See, and this part changed me right here. When I was checking out this message, I was praying, I was like, God, help me in this. I started to realize the secret to forgiveness, here it is. This is the key. And if you don't get this, the whole message won't make sense. You go home with the same issues and the same problem and the same pain, and you're never going to get over it because I've tried it. This is the secret. Forgiveness has nothing to do with the person who hurt you. It has nothing to do with who wronged you. It has nothing to do with the pain that they caused you, with that person. Because I think in our mind sometimes we get into this point where it's like, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait for them to come back to me and say everything they did was wrong. And then I will forgive them. I'm going to wait for them to turn their lives around. I'm going to wait till this pandemic's over. I'm going to wait till we can have lunch. Or maybe they drive to my house. And then they forgive me right there. And then I can forgive them. I would never lead you astray, and I would never lie to you. That just might not happen. Maybe the person that's hurt you so bad isn't even alive anymore. What do you do with that? You can't wait on them to come full circle. That's why forgiveness has everything to do with us. We can't keep waiting on them. See, secret to forgiveness is it has nothing to do with them. Because I can't change what they did. I can't change what my enemies did. I can't change the hurt they've caused me. But I can ask Jesus to change my heart. Because if my heart's not changing, the pain is still there. But if I invite Jesus in, he can change the situation. He comes in and he makes it his own. Now it's not my burden to carry, it's his. And he can take it off my shoulders. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I can't hold on to that pain anymore. It's taken too much of my life. I need to give it up. And I need Jesus to change my heart. I'm not waiting on the other person. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you. See, like I said, when we invite God in, now he gets control of that situation. See that? See that control. We just want to control everything in our lives. And if we could just control the situation and show them how much they hurt me, then they'll see it and they'll come around and they can see how much they hurt me. But we hold on to this control. And you know what that's doing? You know what happens when we choose not to forgive? It doesn't affect them. They might not even talk to you anymore. It doesn't affect them. You're putting chains on yourself when you choose not to forgive. You're locking yourself up. You're making it harder for you to get through life. You're restricting yourself, not them. And that's why forgiveness is so hard. Because even though if we forgive them, it doesn't make what they did right. But it can take the weight of that situation off me. See, I'm a visual person. I'm one of those dudes where it's like, okay, you said it, let's see it. Okay, like put your money where your mouth is. Has this ever happened? Because I get frustrated too. I get in these stories where it's like, okay, pastor, okay, preacher, okay, speaker, you're talking about this, but you haven't been through what I've been through. You don't know what my life's like. And I want to take this time and say, I'm not discounting anything that any of you have been through. That you guys have probably been through way more than I ever have. And I'm not discounting what you went through. But as I was reading and looking, what does radical forgiveness look like? What does loving your enemy look like in modern day? Not in the Bible, just right now, right here. Bible stories are amazing. And we got to start with the Bible because that's where Jesus is. That's where we can hear from God. But what does it look like when someone is radically transformed by Jesus and gives it up to him? What does the situation look like then? I need an example. I have one. So can we show this picture up here? And it'll make sense later. It'll make sense in a couple minutes. Take a look at this picture. And I just want you to remember this picture. It might, maybe you're like, what is that? When you think about forgiveness and you say, I can't do it. It's just not for me. I want you to think about this picture because it will make sense. It might stir up some emotions like it did for me. See, there was this tribe in Ecuador, and I'm sorry if I butcher the name. It was the Walani Tribe, and they were in Ecuador, and they were an unreached people group. They did not know who Jesus was. They didn't have a Bible in their hands. It wasn't written in their language. They needed Jesus. They didn't know the saving grace that our Lord can give. And maybe you're in that situation right now. Maybe you don't know about that. You're in the right spot. See, and this tribe in Ecuador, they didn't know Jesus, and there were people in America who wanted to change that. They were missionaries. And they said, we have been called by God, and we want to go minister to them. We want to evangelize to these people. And on January 8th, 1956, 5 people went out. Peter Fleming, Tim Elliott, Ed McCauley, Roger Udarian, butchered it, and Nate Saint. 5 missionaries went out. And they went out to this tribe and they said, we are going to change them. We are going to teach them about Jesus. They got out there, and the tribe saw them, and the tribe killed every single one of those missionaries on the spot. They speared them. They literally speared them to death. They killed every single one of those missionaries who came to tell them about Jesus. Why would you tell me a story like that? What relevance does this have in anything? It just made my night worse. No, there's a story behind this. The family in America heard back what had happened. I don't know about you, but if that happened to anyone I know, I feel hate. I feel a lot more than hate. If you killed everyone that I know. A few years go by, and some of the family members who just had their friends and family killed at the hands of people in this tribe said, I know they hurt me, and they really are my enemy. And I'm never going to see my sister, my brother, my dad again. But these people in America said, but they still need Jesus. They still need to hear about salvation. And so a couple years go by, and some of the family members go out and they say, we got to try it again. We got to go out there and love our enemies. So a few years later, they go back to this tribe. And the tribe sees them coming in. And that's when the tribe said, you've got to be from God if we just killed your friends and family and you still want to love us. And this picture right here, the guy in the middle, his name is Steve Saint. His dad, Nate Saint, was killed. The dude right to the left of him was the guy who who killed his dad, basically. And these Americans went over and said, they still need to know about Jesus. And so when they let Jesus into their situation, he changed their heart. They went to that tribe of 600 people, and it started to expand. It went from 600 people to 2,000 people now. And every single one of those people in that tribe is saved. They are saved. See, we weren't meant to hate. This life that God gave us, we were made in His image. God doesn't hate. We weren't supposed to either. It's a burden we can't carry. And when we realize that and we give up the pain that other people have caused and we give it to Jesus, we then can forgive. And like I said, it's not overnight. See, the challenge this week is to go out and forgive someone who hurt you. This is the application now. You know that person, whether they're here or not. They exist. They've been around. But forgiveness for us looks differently. Like, not all of us can just drive to their house and want to forgive them. You might, look like a serial killer just pulling up to their house like, hey, we need to talk. Like, what is this about? And so that might not help. But like Pastor Ryan was saying this last weekend, you might just need to put a chair in your living room and act like your enemy is right there and start talking to them. Maybe you need to write a letter to them and then burn it up. I don't know what forgiveness looks like in your life right now. I don't know who hurt you, and I don't know the pain that you have, but I can tell you one thing. Jesus wants in on that, and he wants to change your heart so that he can change your situation. It's only going to happen through Jesus. Would you guys pray with me? God, I thank you so much for your loving mercies for us. When we make mistakes and we go through this life, we can be hurt. And when we make friends and we make relationships and they see the vulnerable part of our lives, they can hurt us. And God, I'm asking you right now to come into my heart and allow me to forgive those people. I'm not asking overnight. I'm not asking for it to happen in an hour. I'm just asking you to make this your situation. I'm just asking you to take control of this because I can't do it anymore. So from this day on, I want you to be present in my life and change me for the better so I can go out and stop feeling this weight that I had on my shoulders. In your name I pray. And everyone said, amen. Well, guys, I just thank you for coming out, making the switch to the 7:30 p.m. Next week, it's the last week of the series, and there's a speaker speaking that I really want you to meet. You probably haven't heard him speak before. He's awesome. He's closing out the series. Got to be here at 7:30. Bring your friends. It's going to be awesome. I love you. Have a phenomenal night. We will see you guys soon.